Okay, so welcome to a making of food. I don't know why, I just thought I feel like cooking something and I feel like spending my time making it and then chatting at the same time because I don't know, haven't had really made something like that before because I didn't feel like I had the space. That's a bit of a problem when I feel like I don't have a space. So anyway, so what I have here is a bunch of shallots and I'm going to chop it all up with my lovely knife. A tiny little thing of ginger, 2 chilies, and dumpling skin. Let's hope that it doesn't, let's hope that it peels. I have no experience in doing this, so I have no idea what I'm doing. And we also, oops, have some snow white mushroom. It just looks so beautiful, I had to try it. So anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is chop up the shallots. I actually got to get some in the garden because I was so ill prepared I didn't even buy any, and the old shallots kind of is a little frozen and so you know, the funny thing is making of dumplings kind of reminds me of these old times when I was little. I loved dumplings, right? But I only liked the dumpling skin because I hated the filling. No matter what they did with it, I always hated the filling. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but like there was just something I hated about the dumpling fillings. Like I just couldn't stand the taste. Like I don't know. I think it's because when I was little, when I had the dumpling filling, what happened is they put a lot of ginger and shallots and stuff, and little kids don't really like that kind of stuff. So because of that, I just never liked it. Like to me, I always remember how much I hated the filling. It's really, I think it just has to do with like not liking the ginger that was in the shallots, really, in the dumplings. I don't know if they had ginger every single time, but I just remember I always wanted the dumpling skin, and I hated the dumpling. I hated the middle. And even now when I'm eating it, I do find myself wanting to enjoy the skin separately. So what I tend to do is I eat the filling first, and then I'll save the best for last. So in the end, I will have a lovely treat of like all the dumpling skins that remaining. So yeah, then I have to chop this really finely because I don't want too much issues with big pieces. Sad that I don't have any what do you call it, shepherd's purse, because I had some growing in the yard, but they kind of all seeded and died, so I have to wait till they reseed themselves, because I really love the idea of shepherd's purse and pork wontons or something like that. Yes. So we're almost done with chopping up the shallots. This is going to be quite interesting. Jeez, it's going off the table. So anyway, I think shallots has almost like the same, almost feels the same as chopping onions. I'm getting like a bit of eye soreness from doing this. Although I have heard that if you wash it with water, it usually helps a little. So I don't know, haven't done it enough to know. But yeah, oh, it's kind of, well, it's all in the same family, so you would assume that it would affect you similarly. Yes. I remember like my mom used to make these shallot sauces. Like she would cut it all up like this and put it with ginger and oil and just have it all in the fridge ready so that whenever you need to use it, you would. And yeah, good old memories. And the funny thing is, there's like this piece that didn't get cut very well. When my mom used to make dumplings, she used to make dumplings a lot, she would put everything in the blender and to save time, right? But for some reason, I just didn't like the taste when it's in the blender, because what I found was the pieces kind of got too small, and I like the pieces slightly bigger. I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you preferred the pieces slightly bigger. I just preferred it when it was like chopped, not blended. What did she use, a blender or a food processor? Probably a food processor, but you know what, same thing sort of. Yes. I'm still deciding if I want to put the ginger in, because I don't know, like ginger is like, you know, when I get now that I'm old, well, yes, you know what I mean. Now that I'm like aged to much mature age, you know, I don't hate ginger like I used to. Ginger used to be the worst tasting thing ever when I put it in my mouth. It would just be like, ew. I just couldn't stand it. But I had ginger for a long time to help me with my anxiety and nausea, you know, like, because I have like a lot of nauseousness that comes with anxiety, and ginger's helped, even though I don't eat it, like chew it, because I think the taste would probably make me more nauseous at first, because I do not like the taste of ginger. But over the years, I think I've developed some kind of like, maybe not tolerance, but maybe like almost like I enjoy it more now. So I used to hate it, like I couldn't stand it, and now I'm like, oh, I can tolerate it. Sometimes, dare I say, I even enjoy it a little, depending on the situation. Like sometimes like chicken rice, you know, how that has the ginger sauce. I actually do like it sometimes. I have to, oh, my camera is dead. Don't you hate it when your camera, like the outside, like the lighting changes, and then my camera is on like a manual setting because I'm indoors and I don't want it to get too bright, and then I have to change the settings. So, all right, now we have all the mushrooms. I don't know if I want to use it all because I might want to, like, look at these beautiful mushrooms. Like, I just love the way they look. They're so pretty. I won't use them all because I want to be able to, I don't know, remake this. So, but at the same time, I don't want to forget about it, the fact that I have it, because one of these problems that I have is I forget that I have all this stuff. So now I'm done with this. Look at it. It looks really nice, right? And my cat is totally like checking the camera out, so he's gonna be like in the way soon. He's like totally checking it out. Ooh, wow, look at these chilies. I love I don't know if people usually put chilies in the maybe the chilies will be better. I think the chilies would be better as a sauce. So I don't know. I might just put a tiny bit in. I don't know. I'll just cut up a little and put. I really don't know if chili is a thing that people put in dumplings, but I just think I don't know. I'll just put a tiny bit in. And I'll put the rest in the sauce or something. I'll put it in a soy sauce dip. I don't know. I have no interest. No, not interest. What am I saying? I can't even think. I have no experience. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of ginger. This much. Surely this is not gonna like screw up the taste, right? Right? Because I always hated ginger in dumplings, and now I'm putting it in myself. I feel like I'm just punching my own face now. Okay, now it's time for the meat. You'll have to excuse me because I don't like touching raw meat, like, at all. So whenever I touch raw meat, I have to go wash my hands, even if I don't touch it. So yeah. I have this fear, like, every time, even if I touch the egg cartons, I have to wash my hands. Like, I just can't stand the idea of touching this stuff. So I'll be right back. Hey! No, don't eat the meat! My cat wants to eat the meat. Oh my god, that's so funny. So now that I have a spoon, I hope it doesn't fling into my face, because that would be really bad if it did that. Like, the last thing I would want is this freaking chicken to... It's a good thing it's not egg or something that could easily escape the bowl. Because that would really freak me out if it went, like, in my mouth. I mean, near my mouth. I would have to, like, I don't know what I would have to do. Wash my mouth out with soap. Because of my fear of getting sick. So, I wonder if there's too much shallots. I don't know. Maybe I should have bought 2 things of chicken. I don't know. I haven't made this before, so this is very interesting. And I just touched the meat, which means I have to wash my hands again. Oh dear, this is gonna be a long afternoon, isn't it? Oh dear. I think I should get a glove so I can just use my hands. I think I should do that, shouldn't I? Well, I'll just mix it a bit more before I go and thingy it. Today I saw like an Instagram story where someone had this cake icing thing and they just squeezed it into the wonton skin and they just effortlessly made it. I'm like, I have to try that, but I don't have a cake icing thing. Alright, I'm back and I just washed my hands again. Now I'm going to add some lovely little things and I feel like there's something. What is that red thing behind me? Oh, it's that bag. Well, I don't like the red thing that's behind me. Like, it's just bothering me, so excuse me while I get rid of that. I don't know, I don't know if it was there before, but it just... just that freaking red thing. It's like, what is this red thing that is behind me that I can see out of the viewfinder? So anyways, and now I'm just going to put a bit of sesame oil. Like, excuse me, I have no idea how to add, I mean, how much to add. I just add whatever I think is okay. I'm gonna add a little bit of cooking wine. I don't even have too much left. And I'm gonna add salt. And I should add pepper. You know what? This is the one time I can probably like grind the pepper in there. So, all right, I'm gonna go get the pepper. Excuse me. Excuse me. Look, I have a pepper grinder. I usually am all like, oh, I just want to show on camera grinding the pepper, and then I can never do it because the camera is not set up on a tripod, but yay, I'm doing it. Now watch me accidentally touch the chicken again, and then I'm gonna have to wash my hands again. I'm gonna have to do another pause, so yes. Alright, really excited for this because I'm craving some good old dumplings. Haven't had them in years. Well, not homemade ones. I mean, I get sometimes we get the store ones, but they're not as fresh. Like, I don't know, there's just something about freshly made dumplings that is just so good. Okay, so I have all the filling and I'm tired from all the stirring. Let's look at this lovely mixture. Now, I have almost no experience in doing this, so I don't even know if I'm going to, like, I don't even know if I'm going to fry the dumplings or cook them in water or steam them. Like, that's how little I know. Maybe I should steam them. Ugh. I just realized that I don't have a knife to open this packet! Okay, I'm back. You know what? Maybe instead of steaming it, I should do the next best thing. Boil it. Because it's such a pain using the steamer. Surely it's the same thing, right? I mean, like, surely it's the same thing, right? Boiling versus steaming, what's the difference? What could possibly go wrong? Which is something you should never say when you're trying to do something. So, yeah, today when I was looking at the dumpling skin, there were like square ones and circles, and I'm just like, am I supposed to get the circle or the square? Because for some reason I can't remember what, you know. I always think they should be a bit thicker. I think thicker dumpling skin would be better. That's way too much. Way too much. And now I'm gonna have to wash my hands 500 times because of, so, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, so this is like, I know some people like make the most beautiful dumplings, and I'm just like, this is good enough. Look at this. Look at this. This is good enough. There we go. Here's a dumpling. I'm just gonna make it into rows and then boil it. So funny that sometimes it's like, it's so easy to make this stuff, but I just put it off because I'm not used to it and I think it's a lot of work, but it really isn't. So I mean, like, how hard was that? All I did was mix a few ingredients together, right? Like, why is doing something like this stopping me? Like, why did it take me this long to start making dumplings? Because I was so terrified of getting it wrong or something, or not doing it well enough. Like, I notice a lot of times, like, the fear is just such a strong emotion that it's hard to, like, it's really hard to deal with fear. Like, I find that that's probably what really screw myself over with everything, is just fear. Is like fear of doing the wrong thing, even though, like, if you think about it logically, there really is no consequence of stuffing it up, right? Like, what would be the consequence of not making dumplings as good as you want to, right? Like, it's not like you're being tested, like, you know what? Today, you're going to be graded on making dumplings. If you fail, you will never be able to make dumplings again in your life. Like, it's not like we're going through that. So why is it so scary to make dumplings? Or anything else, for that matter? Why is it so scary to do something with the fear of failing? Like, that is, to me, like, failing. And what is failing, if you think about it? What exactly is fail? Like, how would you classify failure as? Is it because your own expectations, or is it other people's? And, you know, it's just the things that I like to think about, because a lot of times I am so, what's the word, ruled by fear, that it's hard to see from another perspective. Like, my fear is so strong that it's like, oh, if I screw this up, I'm fucked, you know? Like, it's so hard for me to logically tell myself that it's not a big deal if I screw this up. Because it's like, you know, making dumplings. I'm using dumplings as an example because that is just one thing. But, you know, it could be applied to everything else. Really, I think I should have some water here, because I think that's what keeps these things closed. That's what I remember people do, you know. I gotta be really careful because I've touched the meat a few more times. It's like, ew. I don't want to touch the meat. Ah! The frickin' spoon just touched the meat. Well, now goodbye to my hand. The whole thing is gone. Well, you know, it's funny because there's quite a lot of filling. I think I could even put the filling in a bowl and make more tomorrow if I don't use up all the dumpling skin. I don't even know, because I made quite a lot. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I consider that a lot, even though that's not a lot, but you know. But the fact is, I made 7 and there's still so much left, is making me think that there's quite a lot, which means that I will be doing this for quite a bit without water, which will make the dumpling skin open up. So yeah, so back to the fear. I just really want to challenge everyone, like, what is really the big deal of failing? Like, is it really that bad to fail? Is it because we're embarrassed? Because that's how I feel. Whenever I'm fearing something, especially if it's something that's going to be revealed in front of other people, it makes me even more nervous, because it just makes me feel like, oh, like I'm gonna look like a total idiot in front of people. And that's what usually makes me like, that's what it feels like. Everything that has ever been difficult for me has been because I feel like I'm an idiot in front of other people. And in my mind, like, this is not logical, like, I know it's not how people are. In my mind, it's like everyone's laughing at my mistakes and stuff. Like, in my mind, it's like, oh, I'm just this stupid idiot, you know. It's like such an ingrained feeling that it's hard to really get rid of. And that's a lot of my problems with everything has stemmed from those feelings. And it's like, I still don't know how to get rid of it. Like, I just, like, after all these years, like, I talk like I do because I want to, but pretend that I do because it's better to pretend that I do than admit it, you know, sometimes. Although I do admit it, like, you know, I have these issues, and it may be the rest of my life that I have to deal with it, but I want to at least try to help myself and other people from, you know, dealing with it. I gotta wash my hands and get some water. So now I should really use the water to close up the skins because now they're opening up. Like, it's like, oh my god, knowing me, like, knowing what's gonna happen is these dumpling skins are gonna open up while they're in the pot, and I'll be like, psh, and then all the filling will go everywhere, and it's like, oh my god, I failed the dumpling test. I'm just gonna pretend there's a dumpling test, even though, you know, we know that there isn't. But again, it's kind of just like me making fun of my own fears to teach myself a lesson. Like, what am I so afraid of? What am I so afraid of with making bad dumplings? You know, and it applies to pretty much everything that I'm doing. What am I so afraid of? Like, screwing up other stuff. Why is it that it takes me years to start something when I just don't have the motivation? And that has to do with fear, I think. Like, I just really wish I could turn it off. Like, I feel like a lot of times life would be easier if we can turn off our fears whenever we wanted, honestly. And like, just not feel like other people are better than me. That's just like, as soon as I feel that way, it feels like no matter what I do, I just feel inferior. And it's so hard to do anything when you've got that mindset. It's like, instead of thinking that other people are like, you know, people as well, I kind of almost think like, oh, other people are just gonna be laughing at me, you know. It's such a thing that I would want to be able to just never think of, but it's hard because we're humans, you know. We wouldn't, you know, I'm pretty sure that if we could just turn off our fears whenever we wanted, we'd be able to write some like advanced novel technique thing that, you know, we just got rid of our fears. Imagine the productivity of most people if that happened. I can just imagine. So I'm going to do this right. I'm going to put some water on the front because I think that's what you're supposed to do. Once I make enough to fill this thing, I'm going to just try to cook some and then see how we go because, yep, I wouldn't want to. The meat is coming out. Ew. Ew. Okay, so it's so much easier when you wet the sides, by the way, just to let you know. It's so much easier to close it up, and it doesn't work as well when you've already made it. So just a pro tip. Nah, it's not a pro tip, it's more like a tip. I don't even know what pro tip means. Does that mean like you're a pro? Or does it mean that you're giving a pro tip? Yes, see, questions. And I just touched the chicken again. That's gonna be a pain in the ass, isn't it? Like, I'm gonna have to go back and wash my hands every 2 seconds because I keep touching the raw meat. Yes. There's quite a lot. Like, I was not expecting it to take this long for me to make the dumplings. Like I have enough to fill like a whole tray almost, and it's still feel like I barely even touched the meat, which means that if I knew how to harness my powers, not that dumpling making is a power, if you know what I mean, I could easily have a lot of dumpling for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Imagine the money I would save. Like, because if you think about it, the dumplings are like, this meat was what, like $6.50, shallots like $2, random other stuff less than like $2, I guess. Dumpling skin, did I talk about the dumpling skin before? I can't even remember. $4 something, and you can eat this for like many days. I mean, not many days, but maybe like at least 2 meals. It's like much cheaper than buying them for like $10 per bag, I think, which is nowhere near as much as what you can make with this. So very exciting. I'm very excited to eat this because I just cannot wait to eat fresh dumplings. I can't believe it. Like, I haven't made it since I was I don't think I've ever made it. Like, the last time I made it was helping my mum when she had one of those like invitations to like 50 guests, and I mean, not 50, I literally exaggerated. No, she'd have 5 guests over and she could cook for 50 because she likes to make sure everyone has eaten enough. So we would always like laugh about like, oh my god, you're cooking for like 5, not 50. But yeah, she just loved cooking for people. She always made sure everyone had more than enough, that people could take home food, people could do all sorts of stuff. Which reminds me of a time when she cooked this chicken. She made like I don't know, some kind of chicken for her friend. And they were arguing for like 20 minutes over this freaking chicken. I've been listening to the whole conversation, right? They're like, oh, take it, no, I don't want to. And like, part of the Chinese culture is you're supposed to refuse until like the person throws it in your face. But for this round, I think like her friend kind of maybe didn't want it or didn't want that much. But they were just like arguing for like 20 minutes. And then my mum got so pissed off, right? She just threw the chicken across the room and it landed on the floor. And then she went and sat on the toilet in a rage. And then the friend was like, oh shit, she's pissed off. I'll take the chicken. That's literally what happened. I'm not even making this up. This is like, she got so pissed off because her friend wouldn't take the chicken. Oh dear. So funny. Like, most of the... It's so funny that, like, thinking back of this stuff, and it's like, oh, when I was young, I thought, oh, it's such a bother making dumplings. Why would anyone want to waste time doing that? Well, if, you know, you get to eat delicious dumplings, maybe it would be fun. Just a thought. Maybe eating it is the reason why we not build dumplings. I'm thinking building. No, that we cook dumplings. So, yeah. I almost have enough to fill this whole section, and I don't want to stick them together because then they'll get stuck together and then I won't be able to separate them and then they'll break, and when I cook them there's going to be issues. So to be very careful with this. I can fully like make more tomorrow. I think I will make more. I'm not going to finish making this today because it's gonna just be too much, and I'll be making this video until nighttime, which is gonna be soon. So yes. All right. God damn it. There we go. Like, some people make the most beautiful looking dumplings and I have no idea how they do that. They like turn it into this marvelous piece of art, but every time me and my mum did it, we're just like there we go. Dumplings made. So yeah. So how much of the skin did I use? I don't even know. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I made 17 dumplings so far. I should check how many dumpling skins there are in total because the meat is just not going down. Like, I did not think this through when I put... And I thought this filling was not enough. Like, I was like, oh, fully prepared for the filling to run out within like 5 dumplings. I don't know what I was thinking. Experience. See, the thing is, if you're so afraid of doing stuff, you never get the experience and then you will never get better. Like, the only way to improve on something is to do it more. And I kind of learned that lesson when I was writing my own book. So I'm still doing it. I'm still kind of editing a bit, but like when I first wrote the first few paragraphs or chapters, it sounded so bad. Like, it literally felt like a diary entry. I read it and I was like, oh, this is horrible. And I kind of had to slowly force myself to go over it many times, as painful it was. It was just very, very hard to read my trash at the beginning because it was really, really bad. So eventually I kind of improved, and you know you've improved when you're reading it over the 58th time and thinking that, oh, this is much better than it used to be. So that's my way of knowing. But the thing is, if I just thought I suck, therefore I shouldn't even bother, I would have never had the chance to improve, you know what I mean? So Sometimes you just have to be bad at it and accept that you're going to be bad at something in the beginning. Like that goes with drawing as well. I know I always put off drawing because I'm like, oh, I just don't want to do it if it's not perfect or if it doesn't look nice. But I forget that everyone, you know, starts with having bad skills, I think. Maybe some people are powerful with good skills, but it could just be that they don't share the bad drawings in the beginning. So it kind of makes it feel like their skills are much better. So, you know. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a break now and I'm gonna just show you what I have, and then I'm gonna cook it and put some of this stuff away or make it in a bit. So yeah. Well, this is the end of our cooking session, so hopefully you had fun making dumplings with me. I still have quite a lot of meat left. I will make more later, but I kind of want to, well, maybe I'll make 1 or 2 more. Like, let's just make 2 more because there's room for 2 more. Because I don't want to have to come back and just make 2 more, so that would just be really frustrating, wouldn't it? Yes, so it's really fun. This is kind of like a mukbang almost, like mukbang without the eating, mukbang with the cooking. So yeah, I will definitely show these dumplings when it's cooked though. Like, I don't know if I'll eat it in front of the camera because I don't know, there's something I don't like about the way I eat. Like when I watch it, I'm like, oh, why is my mouth movement so weird? How come other people eat so elegantly but I look so weird when I'm eating? That's what I'm thinking. Oh dear. But then again, we're all our most harshest self-critics, so who knows? Maybe other people don't feel that way, it's just me, I don't know. But whatever it is, I'm looking forward to eating this because I'm very, very hungry now. Like looking at this making me hungry. It's funny because as soon as I smell the shallots, I can instantly smell the dumplings. I don't know how that works, but anyway, I'm gonna go and clean up a bit, so I'll be back. Don't excuse the mess that I made because this is pretty messy. So this is the mushroom I used. You can use any mushrooms. I mean, I just bought these because they looked pretty. There's a dumpling skin. Here's the meat. And here's all the dumplings I made. I'm very excited. And there's all the sauces that I use. So here's all the stuff. Okay, now let me go and cook them. Oh, look at my dumplings.